All right, guys, so Charlie Kirk, big story, right? Really big story. Everybody's getting lost in what's really going on here. Who did it? What happened? When? Where? What? Why? Everybody's a detective now. Whatever, it's fine. This is America. We thrive on this crazy shit. But there's a man that died in front of thousands of people at a public speaking event. I don't know who did it. Maybe we'll never know. Maybe it'll be a JFK situation. But the fact of the matter is, there's a brilliant young man dead at the age of 31 who first and foremost was a father. He was a husband. He held his faith very close to him. As a matter of fact, I've heard him say numerous times, it's because he's a great father and a great husband and a great family man. It's because of the relationship that he has with Jesus Christ. I went to Catholic school when I was younger. I've grown to have my own thoughts about religion. I'm not an atheist, but maybe I'm somewhat agnostic. There's something there. I don't know what it is. I can't really prove it until we get there, but we may as well enjoy our life and be good people now. That's kind of how I run my life right now. But Charlie really believed that Jesus Christ and God ruled his life, and he was the person that he was because of them. He also had a lot of very, very intelligent opinions. Now, I'll call them opinions, but he also backed it with a lot of fact. He had a lot of tough conversations on these college campuses with these young, brilliant so-called sponge minds. I mean, the kids are smart. You just got to realize that where you got to push that intelligence. And there's a lot of differing opinions, which is fine. That's what makes America great. But nobody should be canceled for what they said, okay? Now, I found Charlie Kirk's TikTok page about a year ago. I listened to his podcast. I listened to his channel. The guy was brilliant. I mean, did I believe in what he said about religion? Like I said, I'm agnostic. I don't know. Maybe he's right. I hope he is right. But it was just amazing how much he felt that. I mean, you got to respect a man that has so much faith in something that you really don't even know if it's there or not. But he had faith. And like I said, going to these college campuses and debating these young minds was brilliant. Somebody said at one of the rallies that you're a 31-year-old man and you're debating college kids. Yeah, because those are the people that we should be talking to. Not to change anybody's mind, but just to create dialogue. And you could tell he had some very tough conversations with kids with like transgender issues or critical race theory or capitalism or religion. But it was always done in a manner where nobody felt like they were being disparaged. There was open dialogue. He gave people time to speak, and that was it. Whether you misconstrued something that he said as racist or pushy, I don't see how that could be. But hey, everybody, like I said, it's got their own opinion. All right. Now, let's get to the part about what's going on right now. Or we could go back maybe 10 years ago, maybe, when people were getting canceled left and right for saying certain words, which I think is disgusting and should not be said. People people getting canceled for having issues with transgender stuff, with homosexuality, stuff like that. People were losing their livelihoods for saying stuff that they felt that they were their beliefs. And there was also a bunch of idiots that got canceled when they tweeted something when they were 14 years old, and now they're a grown man trying to get a job somewhere, and they found a tweet from like 1983 where he said something racist. And he's like, I don't even remember making a tweet from 83. There's not a tweet in 1983. But the point I'm making is they may have said something. Now we're going to fast forward to now. We got Jimmy Kimmel. And listen, there's teachers losing their jobs over stuff they said about Charlie Kirk and the assassination of that young man. I don't agree with that either. You can have your opinion, Now, I kind of had a debate with somebody through Facebook, and I was telling them, just talking about free speech, and they compared what Roseanne Barr said and what Jimmy Kimmel said. Now, Roseanne Barr said some pretty heinous stuff. She made a very racist comment about Obama's senior advisor, which was way out of line. Then there was numerous other comments that she made, I think, about the Muslim Brotherhood, or she made a couple of racist jokes, and listen, she's paying the price for it. Now you got Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel made comments. Maybe they were insensitive, or maybe that's the way he really felt, but he said it, okay? Now, the person I was talking to today didn't see the equality in those statements. Now, I guess obviously if you say racist comments and stuff like that, somebody that, of that persuasion or of that, if they're homosexual or if they're transgender, they could take a lot of offense. But should somebody lose their job for it? I know feelings are hurt, obviously. People shouldn't say that stuff. But, should you really lose your job for it? Now, Jimmy Kimmel. Now, what he said was his opinion. Like I said, maybe people could say, it was insensitive. But he said it, and he has the right to. But feelings were hurt. Charlie Kirk had a wife and 2 beautiful children that have to see this stuff. And they maybe had their feelings hurt. But do I think Jimmy Kimmel should be canceled because of it? No. And I got to be honest with you. I don't think Charlie Kirk thought Jimmy Kimmel should have been canceled for what he said. Because if anybody was a bastion and stood on business with our most important amendment of the United States, is freedom of speech. And if you don't think that's true, none of this would be happening. None of these other amendments. We wouldn't be living our way of life if we weren't able to say how we felt. And that is a problem when we have to pick and choose our words. Not saying people should be insensitive or mean on purpose, but what they should is just maybe they have to police themselves. But this is America, and you could say whatever you want. Now, I voted for Donald Trump, and I'll do it again. I'm not one of those people that's, says, oh my God, like I'm pissed at him right now, because I'm a little mad at him right now. Because I think he's using his ego as a vehicle to cancel people just because they made fun of his haircut or they made fun of the way he talks or something. I mean, look, are you that much of an egomaniac where you want to start canceling late night talk show hosts because they're making fun of your haircut? Look, you and Charlie Kirk were really tight. You could talk to him, have a dialogue and say, listen, call Jimmy up and say, yo, why'd you say that, man? Let's talk about it. I think that would have definitely been the better route. But they tried to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. And let's not get this twisted. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel's that funny. And I don't think many people are watching his show, which could have been the case, but he should not have been canceled. So now there's going to be a big rage. He's going to have his show tonight. Everybody's going to watch it. But you know what? At the end of the day, where's this going to be in about 2 or 3 weeks? You know where it's going to be? We're still going to have a brilliant young man dead at the age of 31, a father and a husband and a man of God, who if was let go and not assassinated in front of all those people and just continued to do what he was doing. Listen to Tucker Carlson's eulogy. It's long, but I suggest you listen to the first 90 seconds of it because he tells a little story and a comparison. Now, the comparison's not that crazy, even from an agnostic person. He tells a story about Jesus Christ. You know what? Go to Tucker Carlson's site or go to his TikTok page or something. It's right there. Listen to what Tucker Carlson said about Charlie Kirk. Makes a lot of sense. So go to Keep Talking 365. Give me a subscribe. Give me a follow because I'm going to be doing a podcast over the weekend. And I got some guests and I got some people that are going to talk about this. And hey, may get a little heated because I got some lefties on here too. So come check it out. Hit that subscribe button and these are my opinions, guys.